Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. We decided to make another thing for our other drill, one we polished. We want to show some of the hardest parts to do when you're figuring this out. Now, I would recommend making the board just like this. We're going to run some screws here about 1.25 inches, this 1/2 inch. And don't worry about these boards being sawed perfect. I sawed mine by hand. The important part is make sure everything's straight. I would highly recommend putting a piece of angle iron here. This is what I had for scrap, so it was that tall. It does not have to be that tall. Okay, here's one of the most important things to do. You have to find out when the drill is setting here, okay, how high is it going to be to the center of the hole? I want a 1/2 inch of material left at the top of the hole. So I want this to be strong, okay? So it's going to be hard to show you, but I'll pause here and I'll get the drill up here. Let's try one to see what happens. Okay, say the drill's like this, right? And I have this extra long back for it. Say it touches right there, right? Because I'm going to have my cord hanging over the table. But this board's longer for a reason, you'll see later. Because this is what you got to figure out. You have to look at here and do some measuring. So the drill's like this, so it's parallel with this. Then you'll decide this top of this hole, okay, and I do have a 1 3/4 inch hole saw, of where the center has to be. So I think you follow me. Okay, we're going to drill this hole in the drill press, our new drill press we made. So let's do some measuring and figuring, and then we'll come back and hopefully we got this right. I guess you made a really big mistake. You just have to start over or something. I don't know what to tell you. We want the hole to be 1/2 inch down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure the top of the hole is 1/2 inch down. If you made a mistake, I suppose you could adjust something. You could make this piece longer. Go ahead and make it 1/4 inch long in case you made a mistake. Then you could always fit it to this. Because I don't want it on here. I want it down here. And here where this is, there's kind of like a gap in here, okay? I'm going to sand this so there's no gap on the outer edge, because we're going to put a little epoxy on there instead of glue. First we'll screw it together, we'll test fit everything, okay? Then when final we'll screw it together with some epoxy on it. I don't know if it'll soak into here, but I do know that Elmer's white glue does not soak into this MDF. You can try Gorilla Glue, the stuff you wet down, the brown stuff. I bought some clear stuff in a little bottle. It's no good, my opinion. Use the brown Gorilla Glue, the stuff that foams up. Okay, yanked about enough. Let's go and get this hole marked out and drilled and see if we were right. Okay, change of design plans. I guess we measured this and was going to build this way to start with, because look where I had my lines measured and figured. I took the chuck off to make it easier. See, there's another tip. See that? And it'll give you so much space up above there if you can see it. Oh, that fell. Here, let me pause, because I want you to see this part on the bottom. Okay, I'll show you. Like I said, see the bottom? Make sure it looks like, it kind of looks like it's going uphill. Don't let that fool you, it's not really necessarily so. And remember, you can always shim it back here a little bit, or grind something out of here. Well, this doesn't have to be perfect when we're starting to test fit. But I think you agree. I think we got it. Can I get back here and show that how much clearance? We don't have quite a 1/2 inch clearance on the hole. I keep knocking this board over. There's nothing to hold it. See, I hold it over there. Like I said, get all this right. This is the most important part, is these two boards of where you're going to drill this hole. And I made this board 1/4 inch longer. For some reason, for extra. I figured I'd cut it off again. So don't be afraid to make this board longer. You know, if you decide you want to put it like this way or the other, make it 1 inch longer. You're designing it. This board on the bottom is long because I want to notch it and fit the cord and see where the outside insulation's broke a little, and I don't feel like changing the cord. So I want to kind of go in the groove and put some hot glue on it. See, this is Sunday. See, I get frustrated and scream and ah. This is the worst part though. Because watch, every time I let off this, it wants to fall on me. You can make a liar out of me. You're gonna make a liar out of me, not fall to death. Come on, fall to death. Do it in front of everybody. I dare you. We'll figure it out. We'll be back when we get this hole drilled. We're gonna use our bench drill, our new bench drill, I should say. Okay, of course the wooden plug's gonna be stuck up in there. Okay, drill this from both sides. We drilled a pilot hole over 3/16 first, so when the bit came down, we know it was gonna be centered. You see where I drilled it from both sides? See that line? Drill it from both sides so you don't splinter, especially with any kind of wood. Okay, it does fit over there. So now we're gonna go over and test fit. We had to use almost the full speed of the drill. We had it on the variable speed, but we had it cranked way over there. So we don't want to bog down the drill and hurt it. You know, it's better to cut high speed on wood, common sense, and lower speeds on steel. So there you go. Let's see if it fits together. Oh, you're gonna take this chuck off. If you don't know how, someone's gonna ask me. Put an Allen wrench in there, L-shaped Allen wrench, so the long part's that way. Make sure ain't no screw in there. If there is, they loosen to the right, and then smack it with a board. It'll spin the chuck off. Good luck. I've had pretty good luck with taking them off. Well, what do you think? Is it straight and level enough? You got a curved drill. You got a curved bottom of the drill. You got the flat part of the handle back there. We do have the angle iron, see, so it's pretty squared. We just screwed the chuck back on here, which we can unscrew it. I said this Sunday and stop, we can take longer. I can tell myself, don't be nervous, you're not making a professional video today. Well, how long did I put that thing on there? It doesn't stick in there a long ways. And there's plenty of meat on top. See, so the board's stronger. Now we're going to work on getting our screw holes in here. It is better this way, because think, this ain't going to catch on nothing. This is one piece of wood sliding on the bench. Like I said, this will be notched for the cord, so this will be slid up further. Because we want that notch for the cord. Plus we're going to have that wood piece go around here. It looks just like this. We're going to make a new one with the holes. And then we got our metal piece that we saved. So we can reuse that. Recycle, repurpose. Highly recommend put a piece of angle iron there. You've got to be able to find a piece of scrap laying around somewhere. I thought this would almost be too long. If you could see up in there. See that? Well, very much clearance, but I could have cut that off. Yeah, it's level enough for me. I mean, I can put a square on here once I get this done. We'll see how square the chuck is this board. It's just a buffer grinder. It's not going to be used by the NASA to build some space shuttle or something. Don't that look cool? Should I paint this board black? I may wait on this and get everybody's comments. Should I stain this or just spray paint it black? Boy, black would look cool, but it'd take a lot of coats. Plus, you got to use clear. This is that nasty old MDF board. We'll see. I think we'll wait on painting it, and we'll let the crowd decide. Crowd. That way you feel like you're involved, which I want you to be. I want people to be involved. You know, when I'm done with the video in the comments, there ain't much we can do unless it's a two-parter and somebody has an idea. Okay, back to work. Okay, another hot quick tip. We drill the clearance hole so the screw goes through here with no resistance, right? See how big that is? Then we drill the pilot hole in here, and it will still try to split this cheap stuff. But we're going to epoxy this and put a clamp here, at least on the sides, okay? Also, we're going to countersink these. Take like a big 3/8 bit or something and countersink them screws. Because this is going to be the bottom. I think you know what I mean. we're going to use epoxy, not glue. Just a quick 5-minute epoxy. We'll put it in there everywhere, and we did get a bigger crack over here. So it'll be all epoxy cured, and this part will be done. Then we can sand it, get all our marks off, all our garbage off it. So we're going to take a break and get that done. So with epoxy cure, we can have a little break. So like I said, we'll do this first, then take a break with the epoxy cure. I think you know what I mean. Okay, I always say take a deep breath. It's been a couple days. I was busy one day, and it was so cold yesterday, my heater broke, my little one I have down below, so we're trying to heat it up just one heater. We have one on order. It take about a week. Setting that right there. I think you can kind of see it through the epoxy. This is how I did this, not how to reshape this. And I put tape underneath here. Well, I did this side first. This is all slick cardboard up against here and duct tape and everything. So I poured that full of epoxy, and I put extra hardener. So this stuff hardened like, oh yeah, it's hard as steel. And underneath, if I could do this without dropping off the bench, this took twice to fill. And when I chucked this off my pocket knife, it was like glass. There's some scrapes on here and stuff, but oh well. We're going to put some hot glue in here in this cord. That's not the wiring, it's just the outside jacket. So we're going to fill that in with some hot glue and cover it. We're just going to do it without the glue gun. How I heat the glue up with my lighter and meld it in there. I probably showed it in a video once, so we'll get that done, then we'll go back to the final finishing touches. We're kind of deciding to stain this. I know I want everybody's comments, but I'm sure they're going to say just put stain on instead of paint. Because now it's together, I don't want to take it apart. I think we're going for the stain with a little model car brush to get in there. We're really looking at it, so it's going to have to be warm to do that. So let's get to work. We'll be back when we get some more work done. Okay, I know I showed this before, but my socket candle. Here's how we do this. We get our glue stick in here, right? Get in frame. Okay, we get it melding. And then we'll take our pokey tool, see, it gets them on the end of it. We'll set this over here so it don't stick. And then we'll take our pokey tool, get some on there. And then we can heat it up a little more. Okay, so it's a drop. Then we'll come up, we'll drop it in here. Ooh, back off. Then you can always smooth this. You can heat it with a lighter, like the turbo lighters work the best. Wet your finger and just smooth it out. And I have burnt myself enough on hot glue that I'm just used to it. But what it does is, with the candle, it makes it black. So it looks kind of like it's some kind of silicone or whatever. That cord's glued down to the board, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. We're holding the cord, and this will go up against the edge of the table. It's the only way I could design this. And it'll fit where I'm putting it at. So that's just a little extra so you don't yank on the cord. I think you see what I mean. Let's get back to work. That was a nice little, cool little thing. I like to have some big sockets and do that. Make socket candles. Okay, you can shape this too. You can make different tools, but I just use my little rod I heated up. And you can see how I kind of go in here like this. You kind of go up with the rod and smooth it out. I need to find something flat. A screwdriver works too, but you're going to take a lot of heat to do that. Heat up a screwdriver. This is easier to heat up with a candle, so I think you get the idea. You know, you're just heating it and kind of smoothing it. And all these strings, just take a lighter to it. Hold it wherever you can get a lighter and light it up and burn them little strings off. But that'll hold pretty good. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, back to what the next part of the job will be. Okay, this is what we're doing the edge of this with. Okay, let me get a little on here. Oh, it's going to run on you. You know what I mean? Just roll back and forth. It's better rolling. But you start wrapping it, see? You start wrapping your glove around your finger. Trouble I had. I need to stop and readjust my gloves. Because this is going to take like who knows how many coats on the edge of this. Yeah, because all I got is model car brushes. I think you get the idea. Yeah, it's not the world's best staining job. See where that's still drying? I just been mopping on here. Let's get it in frame here. I just been putting on there like this and just mopping it on. You see how small that brush is? When you're determined, you can cover a lot of area. Look how much area I'm covering with just a little brush. Go down there and get the drips. So it's just a tool. It's not a fine cabinet. Well, if you look at this when it's dry, see how old and weathered it looks? I could put a little bit darker stain on there like this, and it makes, when I do my fake wood, I could probably draw some lines in there. And that takes a liner brush. This is not a liner brush. This has a flat edge. See that? It don't come to a point. A liner brush is real fine pointed, and you just get a little black paint. You get shaky old guy like me, and that's how I did that fake wood on that screwdriver handle. Watch here. Watch Bob Ross when he makes some little tree branches. You know how he does that shaky little. You know what I mean? Shaky little tree branches. Said you can't put too much on here. I'm just gonna keep slopping it on, then I'll go ahead and finish. I'll be real careful around the drill part. Here, I'm just getting this done. And voila, we are done. Remember Shrek, the librarian lady? So makes that ooh sound, or voila. I can't remember that funny sound. Even got inside of there. Look at that. Even was that particular. This stuff soaks up, especially on it. It will soak up more than you can pour on it. It's like a dried up sponge. I can't believe it stuck to the metal. See that? It's still trying to dry. We'll wipe that out with the brush before we flip this thing around. Next we're going to flip around and do that part inside. Let's get at it. Let's skedaddle. You ever notice I come up with all them sayings? Skedaddle. All them old words you've heard when I was a little kid. Nowadays people, what's skedaddle mean? This is how I'm sneaking this stain underneath here. I got a lot of my brush, and I get down in here like this and just get right underneath there. I hope you didn't hear my stomach growling. Like, what was that noise? I had my coffee and a donut. Like here, I just put a big old puddle and soak in. And a whole lot. Here, let me get another brush full. You can do this. I said, it's not perfect. Nobody's going to see any defects. If you get anything on the drill, you can take it off with some paint thinner. There, you see what I mean? See, I'm doing the whole thing with this and a Q-tip. It'll look good enough. Back to work. This is serious. I'm not going to be serious. This ain't fun. I'm not going to do it. You can see how I'm running that brush up and down in straight, squiggly, well, long squiggly lines. So when it dries, because it's not going to be 100% the same color. It kind of looks like wood grain. We'll see when it dries real good. Just remember, it's this side of the drill we're going to look at. That's what we'll see most when it's on my bench over in the left corner. The chuck will be out this way. Well, we are done. I think we're going to be about done with this week's video. I got the trigger to lock. I just kept playing with it. We're on our Variac. This will handle up to 4 amps. It's 3 amps, but it has a 4 amp fuse. This only draws 2.5 amps. So let's kick it on. We'll see what it sounds and looks like. lot more torque than the other drill. So I should be able to bear down buffing stuff, but wonder if the chuck will come back off. Yep, they haven't put a load on it yet. Once you start using it, they tighten up. But there you go. Did the best we could staying in it. So the other one I carved out the wood. This I just put a block of wood on each side. That's how I did it. So there you go. Thanks for watching this week. Look for all the pictures. I've got several pictures of me working on how I put everything together. So we're on here. We had enough of this. It's been pretty warm in here today. I had company, so I've been outside for like an hour, like 60, 50, 55, I think the guy told me. So it never hit 60, but it started getting a little chilly when it clouded up, so I did get to go outside for about an hour and visit. So we're out of here. We're gone.